Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the right side of campus here for Tuesday, December 18th. I'm your host, the big man on campus, getting you ready for another week in sports. We'll recap some things that went on last night, get you ready for some college basketball. Got some bowl games getting going this week. We'll get that back going tonight, all that and more. Welcome in our co-host, Donnie. Donnie, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Tuesday, say what you want about the NFL football game. If you cashed in, if you didn't cash in, we're going to have a lot to say, Jeff, about these Carolina Panthers and what they're going to be looking for their future, or should be saying moving on into their future. But that we'll save that for a little bit later. Some good stuff here to talk about, Jeff. Major League Baseball, hot stove, cold stove, whatever stove you want. But it's a lot of stuff to go over. It's a Tuesday, Jeff. Get you prepped and ready because, there's football, there's basketball, there's NBA, there's hockey. NFL is going to be on Saturday this week. Christmas parties, a lot to do.
Is there a lot to talk about? Because, for me, it's oh, well, they're out. See you. Bye. See you later, Panthers.
No, there's a lot. There's a lot of meat on that bone that we want to pick at.
I got to hear this because I don't know if there is, but we'll get to that in just a little. Do us a favor, hit the like button, say hello. Make sure you're joining us here on the chat every day. And make sure you're supporting everything here at the channel. A lot going on. Listen, Donnie, I heard something last night that bothered me. Okay, I was watching another video platform on YouTube that puts videos out, and I heard them make a comment that I got mad about. And they said they're the number one sports betting video platforms on YouTube. Now, that's just not true. You look at the YouTube platforms for sports betting, SBR has a lot of subscribers. They have the most. They're the biggest, not you. So make sure when you do that, you're admitting the truth. Sportsbook Review has a lot of subscribers, and we are truly one of the biggest video platforms in the business. So make sure you check it out. Everything that we have to offer. Donnie, let's get in. Any thoughts on that, by the way?
I think it speaks for itself, right? Right.
Yeah, just didn't like hearing that bothered me. But let's get into some morning headlines. We will start it out down at Georgia. Justin Fields is out at Georgia. He's heading to somewhere else, a school to be decided. For anyone that doesn't know who Justin Fields is the number one recruit that basically is second fiddle to Jake Fromm. They played him once in a while. They'd play him in random snaps and stuff. But he is leaving Georgia, which is big news because Jake Fromm eventually will leave as well. Then you look, what is Georgia going to do? Ohio State, I heard, is in the running. But it's a really good quarterback, Donnie, on the market.
Yeah, no, and he's really has a lot of his own blame because A, he might have thought he was better than he actually was, or B, maybe it's just hubris saying, well, I think I'm the best. I'm going to walk on campus and I'll be a starter. Or, Jeff, maybe that dirty recruiting game where Kirby Smart goes, look, you get on campus, you're going to start from day one. Coach, you got Fromm here. I think I'm better than him. Look. You commit to UGA, you're going to be starter from day one. As soon as he signs that letter of intent, Kirby Smart sits back in his chair, cracks open a cold one, and says, got him. And hey, look, if your skills aren't up to par where you can't beat out the guy in front of you, why'd you even choose that school? You should have just chosen an easy path somewhere where it had no good quarterbacks whatsoever, or you're just not comfortable with your skills. Maybe you're just not that good and you realized it. Now you got to get out of town.
Ohio State seems to make sense. I'll just say that. That Tate Martell.
A lot of schools make sense, yeah.
You beat him out.
Yeah, go play. Him too, Jeff, right? Tate Martell, was he like top 5 recruit in the country? He goes to Ohio State, and they're like, yo, bro, we recruited you, and we're just laughing because Tate Martell is a 4th down and 1 running back. That's awful, man. I'm surprised he is.
I never understood, Justin Fields. I never understood the thought process of going to Georgia at all. You're the number one quarterback in the country. Why are you going to a school that you're not going to be the starter right away? You going to sit behind people? What's that all about?
I don't know. It's as a run, I don't almost as a quarterback, you need to play, so to speak, to get into that upper echelon. I know there's the back in the day, Cody Kessler out of USC didn't play much, but got drafted in the NFL. I mean, there are occasions, but as a quarterback, you have to play and play snaps. Why you would go to a school that has a freshman sensation in front of you. But then again, Jeff, there's recruiting out there. Maybe the bag man showed up. $100,000 for you and your dad. Show up with Georgia. You know what? I'll work it out for a year, see what's up.
Settle down, Donnie. You can't be throwing that stuff out there with no evidence.
Yeah, I'll put it out there. In the SEC, I will put it out there, yeah.
Let's go to some MLB hot stove. Michael Brantley nearing a deal with the Astros that would pay him $16 million a year. Again, Michael Brantley's a good player. He just hasn't stayed healthy in his career. That's in one of his knocks. But, still a guy that can hit, going to give you a 300 average. Good player. Anybody that they can get will just kind of further help that lineup, bench players, that kind of thing. We're still undecided on Machado and Harper, but you're starting to see and hear rumblings, Donnie, that the Phillies are probably going to find a way to miss out on these two. I mean, what are they waiting on? I mean, make a decision. I mean, are you doing this or not?
I don't believe anything that comes out anymore. I mean, you Phillies are going to throw around stupid money. Before the season's over, Bryce Harper already picked his new team. We're 2.5 months into it. I actually think the Phillies probably laid out a ton of money, and then Scott Boras is just shopping it to every single team, including the teams in Japan, to see who can up the offer. So I think it's a lot of gamesmanship between the upper echelon team saying, 10 years, $300 million, and Boras is shopping it around, and they're just going at this point, let me know when you're serious, Scott. And then we come back to the negotiating table. But it's the MLB does it wrong. They do it completely wrong. It seems like they get so many things wrong in this day and age. It should be a national celebration free agency. Everybody looks forward to it in the NFL. Everybody looks forward to it in basketball, right? Like LeBron James, signed, sealed, and delivered like a day or two after. Free agents already have deals in place before free agency even starts. And Major League Baseball, with their upper echelon talent, the biggest superstars, you don't hear anything of. Major League Baseball just has it so backwards, man. They really do.
I heard Boras the other day on with CSN Philly, one of the reporters there, and I don't know. He seemed like every time he talked to the Phillies, they perked up. It seems like he had some interest, and I don't know. You got to court everybody. Everybody's got to go take visits places. Like Manny Machado's got to go visit every different team. Like, Jesus Christ, man, make a decision. I mean,
yeah,
you gotta go see
exactly. He has to go visit. Like, he's a Major League Baseball player. He's going to visit team. I mean, what year is this? What year?
What are you choosing, colleges?
Exactly. Yeah. Let me sit down. Yeah. Hey, Manny, let's put you in a jersey and take a picture with your family. Ooh, look at that. The Phillies, or a scoreboard. Like, man, I saw the Phillies put like Machado on the scoreboard when he came in, and then he went to the because remember the Corbin. Corbin came to Philadelphia, and the Phillies put his like picture on this. Welcome, Patrick Corbin, to the Philadelphia Phillies, and had his jersey and stuff. And then he went to the Yankees, Jeff, and the Yankees put his wife up there with him. That's going to sway the deal.
It's like,
what is this?
It's like, the Philly. When I went and saw the Phillies, they got me an actual cheesesteak and had it ready for me at the meeting. I didn't even have to go out and get it. It was great. It's like I don't understand. Like, what's a college? You're choosing what college is best for you? Like, I don't know.
It's really awkward. And there's two guys that are going to make a ton of money, and yet nobody knows anywhere where they're going. And I blame that on their agents. If you're an agent, Jeff, right, and your guy's coming up, and you make it clear to the team, Washington Nationals, Scott Boras goes to them and says, "Look, we're not signing until free agency hits, right?" So they go, "All right, let's recalculate." How's this deal not done in place in like June, July, August, and September, where you already have your team picked out, the money is right, and the minute the free agency starts, you press the button and go ahead with it? I can't understand it. It's almost like the most procrastinating business I've ever seen in my life.
But other than that, I mean, there's not much really going on. There's a couple small deals that have been made.
I do like the deal.
Really
the Brantley deal was a good deal. I think the Brantley deal is a really good deal for the Astros. Why? He's so injury prone. But when you're a really good baseball team, Jeff, you can afford that, because if he doesn't get injured next year, what a bat in that lineup, which is the reason why the Phillies probably went after McCutchen, because McCutchen's not really injury prone, but he's older. You can't afford as the Philadelphia Phillies to go out and get like a Michael Brantley and him sit 75, 80 games on the season. But you can afford that risk if you're the Houston Astros. I love Brantley. I think he's a pure hitter, and that goes right into that lineup. And if he does stay healthy, that's a great signing for Houston.
I mean, you look at it in 16, missed the whole season. 17, missed 79 games due to right ankle surgery. And then last year, I mean, 101 games, 309, 17 home runs, 76 RBIs, 143 starts. Not bad. I mean, only missed about what 20 games or so, so not bad. Definitely a great bat. Could be one of those sneaky, if he could stay healthy, might be
Yep.
the best signing of the offseason, really, outside
I
of
like it.
the big boys. Rich get
I agree
richer,
with you.
Donnie. Hey,
Yeah.
Yankees, I would have liked to seen you make a move here for this guy. You fucks. Going out and re-signing Jay fucking Happ.
There you go, man. Pitching.
Yeah. Well, also, everybody thinks Luke Voigt's the answer at first base, too, by the way. That's fucking hilarious, too. That's a really poor position for them. I like Greg Bird and Luke Voigt. Sounds good. Let's move on here to the next topic. Couple comments here. Look out for the White Sox to make some big news. Yeah, which I don't understand, like why anyone would want to go play for the White Sox. But
Yeah,
I
how
guess
about
we'll see.
the White Sox room behind the doors too? It's a well, the White Sox are in on Harper. Now get me this, Jeff. If you're Bryce Harper, you're at the level where you can pick just about any team that's probably going to make the playoffs. If the Yankees extend you an invitation, you go there, you're going to make the playoffs. If you go out to the Dodgers, Jeff, you're going to make the playoffs. If you go to the Phillies, you're probably going to get the wild card spot. If you go to the White Sox, you're not making the playoffs. But here's the best part about it is I heard the negotiating ploy is, well, Harper will go to the White Sox, but have like a 1 or 2 year opt out. So if they're not ready to win, he can opt out and go be a free agent again. And I scratch my head and go, so you're telling me Harper would go to the White Sox and the team would straight suck for 2 years and then he would leave? Why would you waste 2 years with the White Sox when you get the same exact money from a guy the team that's going to go to the playoffs next year? I never understand that.
Yeah, I don't either. That's a good point, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. James Dolan is in the news, the Knicks owner, who many could argue is the worst owner in sports. He's not. I think Stan Kroenke's pretty bad, but he's pretty bad as well. Dolan,
What do you measure that on, Jeff? What do you measure it on? Just like overall ownership? Because as an owner, I don't think there's a team that's gone up in value more than the Knicks in the NBA. So, I mean, you would have to argue just poor, rudderless ownership or ownership of, dude, I just made a ton of money since 99.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure that they've went up. I'd have to look at that.
You
look at the values of
for an NBA team, $5 billion.
right, which is odd, really. But James Dolan, who owns the Liberty, put them up for sale in the WNBA. He also owns the Rangers. Reportedly says that he will not rule out trading or selling the Knicks if the right offer comes along. He says he loves the Knicks and Rangers, but you still have a responsibility for all shareholders. So many people, many Knick fans, I'm sure if you poll 10 Knick fans, 10 will say they don't like James Dolan. He's obviously had his own random cracks. He's had some pretty bad, experiences as the owner. And he, look, again, for what it's worth, hasn't been a good owner, really. They don't win anything there. It's kind of been a mess. But who would buy them? $5 billion is a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get one of those tech guys out there that just says, I have $20 billion in the bank. I'll pay double, just like the guy from the Clippers moved in there, where they said, hey, the Clippers are going up for sale for $1 billion. Let's bid on it. And Jeff, what does he say? I'll give you $2 billion. Just end the bidding right now. I just want an NBA team. I mean, that's really what happens at this. But I see his point of view saying, well, you never say, because I mean, everything's for sale, right? If you're father, mother, your house, your car, if somebody just walks up to you, Jeff, and says, hey, man, I'll give you 50 G's right now for your car, even though you like your car and it might be worth 30,000 or 40, you know what? You go, business move. I'll take the money and I'll get another car. It was just, I mean, I hear what he's saying. I think he's just doing that to placate the fans. Like, yeah, I owe it to my share. He ain't selling it. A lot of these guys, the egos, Jeff, are so freaking big where they make so much money already. You walk around town, I own the Knicks and the Rangers and MSG. That means a lot to these guys.
Maybe Jeff Bezos. He's worth like $130 billion.
Yeah, like somebody like that, exactly. Like, I'm not selling the Knicks, and Bezos goes, I'll give you $15 billion. Okay, I'll sell.
No, I'll give you what you want, $5 billion, and I'll still have 125 left over.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll buy the.
Really
you know what?
much
I just want the NBA. I'm going to buy I'm going to buy all 30 or 32 teams.
Yeah,
we could do it.
I mean, presently MSG shareholders are valuing the Knicks and Rangers together at $3.8 billion. If a Knicks stake were sold at $5 billion valuation, MSG shares would shoot from $265 to more than $330 a share. Revenue for Dolan sports teams is around $500 million. Recent sales of the Nets and Rockets were each for around 10 times revenue multiplies, a sports investment banker said. So 10 times would be, $5 billion. So
Amazing.
there you go. I was never aware the Knicks were that big. Like, what makes the Knicks that valuable? Like, I was wondering.
Well, it's New York City, so your programming rights are sky high, and also you get Madison Square Garden along with it. And like, forget about saying, well, that's own it. They let's just say there's 365 days a year, Jeff. Madison Square Garden's probably in play like 340 days a year with events. Think about that.
Don't you find it interesting, Donnie, if the Knicks were 50 miles north, they'd be worth like half that probably.
Yeah, no, slide them over. Slide them over to the Nets. Slide them over 20 miles, 5 miles. Slide them over to the Izod Center and East Rutherford and call them the North Jersey Knicks. And they're worth a fraction of it. Isn't that amazing?
Or like send them to Albany. They're like,
yep.
What are they worth? $1 billion?
Upstate New York. Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, you got it. Send them to Buffalo, like the Buffalo Bills up there, the Sabres, and throw the Knicks up there. Fraction of what they're worth. Amazing.
Crazy. Also, I saw some people talking about it. It is kind of news. Jose Mourinho out at Man United, the most valuable franchise in the world. They've had issues with him for a while. Good to see they finally made a move. What was that?
Who owns Manchester United?
The owner is I want to say the Glazers. I think they own
the worst family of all time to manage sports, man.
Yeah. They own the Buccaneers as well, I believe.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, he is out. Also, Donnie, with James Harden, what do you got on James Harden?
Oh, did you see last night? We talk about James Harden comes up every once in a while because I'm not a huge NBA guy, but when I watch the NBA and you just see some things that are a little bit out of whack, I don't mind the non-traveling calls every once in a while because it makes the game more fun. I mean, let these athletes, bend the rules a little bit. But the James Harden foul situation and the James Harden 5-step travel step back last night that wasn't called, it just seems to make like a mockery of it. And it's a shame because I like James Harden's game overall. He's an unbelievable player. But the way he plays his game, unless you're like a Houston Rockets fan, do you like James Harden? Did you see the play last night, Jeff?
I did not, but I saw Lonzo Ball the other night take about 5 steps as well. He had a run out, and it was literally 5 steps. They didn't call it.
Yeah, like what you want, like if you're on Twitter right now, you can just Google, just hit like James Harden, it'll come up. He took a double step back, his little like step back gather, but he did it twice in a row. It's like a mockery of the NBA, and it doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I'll have to check it out.
5 steps. Took 5 steps on a jump shot.
Yeah, I got to check that out. Didn't see it. Let's move on to Monday Night Football. Have at it, Donnie. I don't know what on earth there is to talk about with this game. All we know is Cam Newton stinks. I mean,
yeah, I got a couple things.
Honestly,
go ahead. Yeah.
I was thinking about this when I was watching this game for the little bit I was watching. I honestly feel like I could throw a better pass than him. Like, what is up with him? He looks brutal when he throws the ball. What is his deal?
And I don't know what they're hiding at this point, Jeff, because when you watch the game, he has a little bit of a shoulder problem coming in. And I bet the Carolina Panthers yesterday got the win on that game. But it wasn't so much where I was betting saying, because I know what I'm getting a lot out of Cam Newton. And he's checked out now with an injury. But what injury does he have, Jeff? Is this his throwing shoulder? Okay, I could deal with that. So maybe you want to limit it, but you didn't limit the play calling. I mean, he's throwing damn near every down. So that made no sense to me. And then I'm watching old Cam Newton, who when the play breaks down is an amazing athlete, elusive, fast, powerful. He looked like he's running in quicksand last night, not reading extra blitzers coming off the edge, which he usually doesn't do anyway. But when the pocket breaks down, like the reason why you bet Cam Newton and like Cam Newton for the Panthers is he can extend the play and pick up some yards with his feet. Couldn't do that last night whatsoever. The Carolina defense was playing off the charts last night, and Cam Newton could care less about it. I was baffled watching it because I've watched a couple Cam Newton games where say, it's bad throws, and he's melting down. But last night it looked like you had the confluence of everything. I don't feel like running. I don't feel like being here. I don't feel like throwing the ball. I don't feel like reading a defense. Just get me out of here, and hopefully this season will end. It was absolutely atrocious, and it begs to believe, Jeff. Can you imagine if there was a legitimate quarterback in Carolina this year, what their record would actually be when Cam has absolutely imploded over the past 6 weeks?
Yeah, he's tough to watch. I mean, for sure. I had a hard time watching that game. And look, Donnie, we can be true to the show here. I mean, if you had the Panthers last night, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Wow, I'm glad I got a win there." I mean,
but you could look at it the other way and say, like, if you took the Panthers, you should have won that game by 21 points. Yeah, but also you could say Moore fumbled on that play.
I don't know.
They got picked off in the end zone.
Well, the Saints were in the red zone a few different times and settled for field goals. I'm just saying at the end with that kid, with the kid that fumbled in the back of the end zone, that's a brutal beat, man. If you were on that. Plus, I mean, I know you didn't get it, but the second half number was 4.5. I mean, that extra point that they go for 2, don't get it, and then it goes the other way for 2. That fucking hit. That ruined the second half. I mean, if they get if they even kick an extra point there, second half hits, they then go the other way and end up. It only goes 4, so they don't. That was the last score of the game. Weird game, really tough to watch.
There was
I feel like
huge interesting calls in that game. The one holding call where Cam Newton actually, the one play he does make where the pocket collapses, runs for a first down, and they had a pancake block on the front line by the guard, which they threw a holding penalty, which led to a sack, and then they end up punting the football away. But it was just an interesting one where I'm sitting there, the Panthers get up 7-0, but you see, if you already have bad Cam, right? Even though they're up 7, you already know bad Cam is there for the rest of the night, completely not engaged. And how about this, Jeff? My favorite sequencing of plays in the entire football game. You have an interception by the Carolina Panthers at the end of the half. They run it back to the 40-yard line. They're chewing away some clock, throwing some passes. They have 3 timeouts. They don't get out of bounds on a play, which was fine. They end up calling a timeout. But still have plenty of time, like 33, 34 seconds, 2 timeouts left. Cam runs for a first down, slow as hell, gets up, does his dumb-ass point, and little do the Panthers know, as an organization, that 10 seconds are chipping away at the clock, and nobody knows exactly what's going on. You call the timeout, and then you throw an interception in the end zone. I mean, is this the NFL that we watch, man? Is this the NFL? It's outrageous.
Saints offense really struggling. All these offenses, the Rams, Saints, seemingly are being figured out by opposing defenses. That's what makes the playoffs so great because, I know people just think that all these offenses are just going to put up 35 points a game and no one's ever going to stop them. Donnie, all you need is one good defense to go in and shut them the hell down. That's why I'm so bullish on the Bears because I think they can do something like that in those one-game playoff types of things. Saints offense looks to struggle, but they look to have the number 1 seed on deck here.
Yeah, no, you're right about that because you saw a lot more unders coming in. And what can we say about that, Jeff, when you talk about like theories on why it is? Maybe you have now you have 13, 14 games of video. Your offense, there's only so many new wrinkles you can put in. You have attrition. Offensive linemen get injured. Wide receivers get injured. Running backs slow down from the hits. Quarterbacks just going through malaise because I was talking 4 or 5 weeks ago. The Saints are running some offensive stuff that I've never seen in the NFL. But now all of a sudden you're dialing it back a little bit. And the one thing the Saints are missing, Jeff, which we talk about, is it's not an explosive offense anymore. 2 really good running backs. I mean, Kamar's an explosive running back. But where's their explosivity at wide receiver? Not really there. Where is it at tight end? Not really there.
No, they don't.
This will be interesting. But it has turned up the gas, Jeff. The New Orleans Saints defense, one of the best defenses in the NFL since I believe it was Week 10. So maybe it's a complete switch because we used to laugh at their defense. Now their defense is a stalwart. Crazy, man.
Panthers, they're going home. You have to expect Ron Rivera's out. As a coach there. I mean, I would think he is. That was he's just kind of rubs you the wrong way. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of his.
Yeah, I mean, it all falls on your quarterback in the NFL for the most part. If your quarterback's playing, if you had decent quarterback play, Ron Rivera wouldn't be fired because instead of losing 6 in a row, they would have beat Detroit, Seattle, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, and New Orleans. They would be on an unbelievable streak, Jeff, going for the number 1 seed right now in the NFC. But their quarterback is god-awful, goes into the – and nobody criticizes it. Does anybody – I don't follow, like, Carolina sports that closely. Does he get criticized? Like Cam, you suck. Like, if this was Philadelphia, he would probably be hanging, like, off the bridge where people are pushing him on the Walt Whitman Bridge. Like, get out of town. Like, we've thrown McNabb under the bus. We throw anybody under the bus. Do they do that in Carolina? Like, saying my quarterback just doesn't give a shit out there half the games? Can you imagine that?
Yeah, but what about the game where Ron Rivera goes for 2? I mean, that was a weird decision. I don't know. I mean, they're all at fault here. But either way, what do we have on Witten? We going to complain about him again? He's not going anywhere.
Were you listening to that guy last night, though?
No,
Does he
he's
not
not
know
going
anything
anywhere,
that
though.
has anything to do? Like, he's talking about, like, challenging late in the game, like 3rd and 1s when it'd be your last challenge or don't have a challenge left. And then
I chalk it up to
just
he's just new. I mean, he he's only been there. This is only his first season. He ain't going anywhere because they said yesterday they'll be back next year. So
yeah, but they always say stuff like that. Because you know what I mean?
I don't think he's going anywhere. And I listen,
personable guy, but just brutal. Like, you don't need a walking cliche in the booth.
But he doesn't say anything that's going to bother anybody. He's a former
yes,
player.
He does. He says everything that bothers me. Like, me as a football player, I don't need cliches. Like, how many times last night, Jeff, did the Carolina Panthers get the ball back and he go, "Now's the time, Cam, for a drive." All right, punt.
Yeah,
let's see if Cam can do it. Now's the time for a drive.
You got to realize, though, you got to look at Monday Night Football as a whole. They've had some testy people as the color people, Dennis Miller, guys like that back in the day. They just want someone that won't say anything, bad, won't do anything stupid, and will just, again, is he good? No, but he's not going to say anything that will affect the broadcast. He's just going to sit there and agree, and he'll get better. I mean, Tony Romo was pretty annoying initially as a guy, but I don't know. Listen, I'm not going to say that I like Witten. I would pick somebody else, but I don't think they're going to. And if we know anything about ESPN, they're not going to really go with what makes sense because they don't ever really do that. They want someone that's not going to ruffle feathers, and I think he'll not do that.
Yeah, the best one I had last night, Jeff, was Cam Newton ran in the first, I believe it was let's say on the second quarter drive where he ran and got a first down, and Jason Witten said, "This is why Cam Newton's great, catch after the run," or something. I mean, he just gets – it's a shame because he forces it. Like, you don't have to like, just show us, like, here's a good block. Here's what happened on this one. Like, on the holding call, which wasn't a holding call. That's a clear holding call. And, like, they go to remember the one play in the first half, the tight end made a nice catch, and he was down by contact. You could see him kick him in the leg. And Witten's like, yeah, that's not right. Nobody touched him. And then he has to pontificate on it and go, well, it looks like his top of his foot touched the hand. No, bro, just say, look, their feet touched. He kicked him in the leg. I don't need you to say his top of his foot touched his hamstring and therefore he's down. Stop it, man.
Plus, you look at who would they bring. I mean, he's at this point, this is what they're not going to get rid of him. They're not going to be like, oh, Jason Witten, you've been here for a year. All right, see ya. Well, why? I mean, I can get better at this. Now you got to bring someone in. Now you got to do that again. They're going to start somewhere, and he's going to be the guy. It's just the truth. Tessitore's the worst to me. I don't think Tessitore's bad, way worse than both of them. He's brutal, but that's just me. They're all bad, but I don't think they're going anywhere.
I mean, most people don't like announcers as is. I mean, there's usually a bone to pick, but it's fun, and I guess they get what they deserve in a way because you just pull somebody out. Like, you don't even go through the ropes. I mean, there's guys that are out there, Jeff, broadcasting like Pee-wee football games, getting their start, and like 15 years later, finally get a MAC football game. And you just say, hey, man, come right out of the booth. I'm going to throw you into the biggest spotlight game of the week, and let's see what happens out there. And that's what you get.
I mean, I'm confident if they threw me in, I could do a better job than those two.
Yeah, because all like a color man is the easiest job in sports. It really is, because your job is to watch the play unfold, and then you get like 10 seconds to talk about it. Boy, that was a great route on the outside by Funchess. Great pass by Cam Newton. Look at him look off the linebacker, and then Joe Tessitore picks up the next play. All right, first and 10. It's not that hard. It's really not.
People not liking Al Michaels. Al Michaels is good. I don't know what
Al Michaels. Dude,
Yeah,
on now. Well,
yeah,
there's people out there that
that's
don't
a
like Joe
stupid.
Buck either. You know what I mean? Come
Not a
on.
fan of Al Michaels. Well, it's Big Joe Capper, so that's not a surprise. He's a dope. Yeah, I love Al Michaels. I love him. I think he's one of the best. But
Yeah, like even when you talk about Romo, like they pull Romo out and they strike gold with him, but you forget the first 3 or 4 games that Romo had with Jim Nance, he was horrendous. He wouldn't shut the fuck up the entire telecast. Like people don't want to hear your prognosis on every single play before it happens. The job of the
yeah,
color man, Jeff, is not to call the play out. It's what? Review the play when it happened. And he
well,
finally
the thing
calmed
is,
down with that.
the worst commentating experience, Donnie, I've ever had and ever seen was this year. It was at the Maui Invitational, the basketball, where they had. Look, I don't like Bill Walton. Like again, if you're a fan of him, that's fine. I when I hear basketball games, I want to hear about the game. I don't care about all that stupid crap. But when you pair him with Jason Benetti, it is just
Yeah,
Jason
but you have
Benetti's
to. It's
brutal as well.
basically preseason though. Like preseason football, like you're just trying to get some laughs in there,
It's not
man. Same thing with
preseason. It's the
basketball.
best tournament on
Yeah.
earth. And
No, come on,
listen,
it's preseason.
it's not. It's not the time for it. Put Billis and Schulman on it, and put Benetti and I don't know Fran Fraschilla. Fraschilla is the best. Fran Fraschilla
Yeah,
is
but you
great.
have so
He
many
actually
games at that point, though. You know what I mean? It's hard for networks to get that many people to do those. So you can't just have Billis do like 9 games in a row in 2 days.
no, but there's 3 games. There's 2 games that they broadcast. Put Benetti and Fraschilla and like they did. They had 2 broadcast teams. Put Billis and Schulman and Fraschilla. But Bill Walton doesn't let Bill Walton do Pac-12 games at night. I don't care what he does. I don't need
No, I
him
mean,
on
Bill
Duke.
Walton doesn't get the big games like when they matter in
He
March
doesn't
and
offer
stuff like
anything
that.
from a basketball
Yes,
perspective.
like
He
me,
does. No, he
like
doesn't. No, he
most
doesn't.
people don't catch up on basketball that early. If Bill Walton's on, I turn it on and watch as I'm like laying in bed and laugh my ass off at the dumb stuff he says. Otherwise, it's a pointless game.
Nobody
We're
gives
in
a fuck
Maui.
about that.
We're in a game that
Nobody
doesn't
cares.
matter. Like if they put him on the
It's
Final
Maui.
Four, then you would
It's
have
the
a
best
problem.
tournament of the offseason. What are you talking
It's
about? Everybody
preseason.
loves
It's
the
like
Maui.
like Eagles Falcons August
Like,
3rd. Come on.
I've had it with your stupid comments about basketball because you don't watch it. Everybody
No,
else
it's
does.
preseason. No, they
Sick
don't. It's
and tired.
preseason stuff,
No,
man.
it's
As
not
the season goes
preseason.
on,
It
Bill
counts.
Walton's not going to
And that
get the
stuff is
game in March.
important
He's not going to
late
get
in the
that
season.
game.
That stuff. So Gonzaga beating Duke in that game isn't important. What are you talking about? It's
No,
a
who
very
cares?
important.
What's that
That's
matter
big.
about March? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I've so had it with your preseason. It does matter. All
It
that stuff
doesn't.
matters at the end of the
That
season.
doesn't matter. It's
Big
like
games
preseason, man. Eagles beat the
doesn't
Falcons
matter.
week
Huh?
1. Does that matter? Big game, right? Does that
Doesn't
matter?
matter.
No.
Doesn't matter that Duke lost to Gonzaga. That doesn't matter. None
No.
of that stuff matters.
Matter.
Donnie
They're both
Rightside.
getting in the
He doesn't
tournament.
watch
Doesn't
basketball.
matter.
No one else does. What a
No,
dope.
I'm not
Come
saying
on,
that. I'm
Donnie.
not saying that. I'm just saying it's big games in the big. You have so many tournaments. They're in the Bermuda. They're in the Bahamas. They're in Mexico. You can't have the best commentator on every single game. You have to have like 19 different commentating crews to get together. That's why he's on there. That's what I'm saying.
But
Like
you're
you can't have
missing the
Al
point.
Michaels on
They
every
only
single
had
game in the
they only
NFL.
had 2 broadcasts. They had one team and another team. I'm not sure what you're talking about. They had Billis and Shulman and Walton Benetti. Why do you have to have Bill Walton? Put on Fraschilla or
Because there's
someone else.
19 other games. Did you see ESPN Plus, Jeff? If you subscribe to that, ESPN has like
ESPN Plus,
30 games a night
ESPN
with
Plus means
commentators.
dots to me.
You
To put
have to
Walton on
have
those.
those guys on those telecasts.
I don't give a I'm talking about the big game. I don't need Walton. He can go. Let him go do Stanford and Pacific. I don't need him to do these games. Get him off. He doesn't offer anything. He doesn't talk about basketball. He doesn't even know anything about basketball. He's oblivious. Nobody cares about your fucking weed trips and Joshua Tree and your Ken Kesey acid tours. Nobody cares. Go
I think it's hilarious.
smoke some
I
ash
think
and
if you're asking me, like if I want a Final Four game, like I don't want him on it. But if you're gonna give me some innocuous early preseason tournament, I'm gonna laugh my ass off with what he has to say, and he'll keep me entertained.
an innocuous preseason tournament. God,
Yep.
it is
Nobody
really
will ever remember. Nobody will ever remember the Maui Classic, Jeff, but they will remember the Final Four.
I mean, I don't know how I can continue to do this show with this just blasphemous comments. They're just the
Well, I mean,
dumbest things I've ever.
apparently to you, since you like to be on camera 24 hours a day, they don't
This is
do
the
that at
stupidest
ESPN. You can't call
This
Jay
is the
Billis can't
dumbest thing
call
I've ever heard.
every single game every night. They can't do it.
It's 2 days. I'm more
It's not
mad with
2
the comments
days.
about that games don't mean anything. What do you mean that games don't mean anything?
Game
What?
doesn't mean anything in the preseason. Come on. What
The
does that
Maui
mean?
Invitation doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, so Duke won
Wow.
opening night against Kentucky. We crowned them a national champion already after the first game. That doesn't mean anything.
And Kentucky's not been the same ever since. They lost to St. John, or the other night they lost to Seton Hall. I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, it's huge. That is a huge tournament, and it's one of the
Nothing.
best.
Absolutely nothing. It doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. They're all getting to the tournament. What does that first game of the year mean? Nothing. Just
Yeah.
TV. It's just a TV game. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, listen. Okay. Fair enough. What are we going to next, Donnie? Cheribundi Bowl. What do we got on this bowl?
Nothing. Here's what you got in this football game. Ready? Blue 22 hike. Run the football. Blue 22 run the football. Blue run the football. Run the football. Run the football. What's the final score? 7-6. That's what I got on this one.
Another riveting breakdown from Donnie.
Awful game.
Listen,
it is an awful
awful. In this game, though, it's going to be fascinating because you have two teams here that are very similar. You have Rod Carey with Northern Illinois, who has never won a bowl game. He's 0-5. You're going down to a place in Boca where, good weather, 65 degrees. That won't be a problem here. Look, I like Northern Illinois. I think they get the job done here. I think their quarterback's a bit better. I think defensively, I don't like A.J. Erdley. Not a fan of him as a UAB quarterback. I think Spencer Brown could get shut down in this game. You ask yourself, then what? I just think, as far as dynamic, I think Childers is just a bit more dynamic. It's a tough game because both these teams are similar, but I think also you look at the off season or the out of conference season. I think they prepared a little bit better. You look at Northern Illinois faced Iowa, faced Florida State, face some higher end competition. You look at UAB. I think they played A&M. That was about it. Other than that, I mean, I don't know if they were prepared just enough for maybe a game like this. For me, I'm going to look towards NIU, and I think they get the job done here.
Yeah, I would same wavelength. Like, I just think they're two similar teams that anything. Like, it's one of those games where you just say who's getting points and you just flip the coin out there. Because I think the good part about it too is Northern Illinois did have a nice comeback win. Beat Buffalo, won the MAC, so they're excited to be there. They're ready to go. Almost similar, Jeff. You could probably say to Fresno State. They won their conference in a close one, propelled them right to a bowl game. They were excited. UAB is going to be excited because just coming back from the program, getting to a bowl game. But I've seen NIU play upper level competition this year, and they've looked decent doing it. And I just think they're the type of team that, styles make fights between both of these. I think one team's going to grind it out the same way the other team is. And I'll lean on the points in this spot. I mean, you got some pretty good playmakers over there on defense for the Northern Illinois Huskies. And I agree with you. I'll take the points in this game. I'll lean towards NIU. But as a standalone game, NCAA football, can we not get better ones than these? Come on, man.
Yeah, just part of the bowl season. But
we don't want to
do
away
here to
with
break
bowl
them down.
Season. It's fantastic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. I'm just still blown away by your comments before. I just cannot get past some of these comments by you on the show. It just goes unsolicited. It's amazing.
Jay Billis should do triple headers at night. They should fly him into an Alabama SEC game at 7 o'clock. They could fly him out to California at 11 o'clock.
The stupidest comments I've ever heard. The games don't mean anything. That's what. If it's not before January for Donnie,
game one NCAA basketball means nothing. How about the ACC Big Ten shed? Did that mean anything? Nobody can remember who even played in those games. They don't mean anything. Get in the conference play. The minute that they draw seeding, that's when the real tournament starts. Nothing before it matters. We're not talking about Temple making the tournament or St. Joe's. The upper level elite top 25. Those games don't mean jack to start the season. Nothing. They're fun for the fans. like an exhibition game. Ooh, let's play on an aircraft. If they meant so much, they would be playing on aircraft carriers in some random gyms 5,000 miles away. They would have them home and on campus. They're exhibition
Well, I'm not sure
games
if you know
to get.
this, but again, per usual, you don't know what you're talking about. They didn't do that this year or last year, so.
Well, they've done it before. I've seen it. Games canceled for bad floors, and you're playing in, wedding halls down in Mexico. These games are just pure exhibitions. See what happens out there. Then you get in your conference play. Then you see if you win your conference. Then you move on to the field of 64. That's when it starts. It's just fun for fans to watch big teams play each other early in the season with no consequences. That's what's fun about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, doesn't mean anything towards the end. Doesn't mean anything for seeding or where they go in the tournament. That doesn't mean anything. Just all about what Donnie bets on. Donnie bets like a month every season.
I'm a realist.
That's all that matters.
I'm a realist.
You're not a realist. A realist gives facts. You're not giving any. You're not giving any facts. You're just giving.
That mattered. That mattered. If Duke won opening night, that really mattered. What did it matter in the grand scheme of things?
Well, it matters a lot because it's strength of schedule. It's BPI. All that stuff matters when they're choosing seeds.
14 that get in.
That's not the point if they're getting in. It's not to the point they're. We all know they're getting in. It's the fact of who's going to be a number one point. Who's their number 4 seed?
There's my point right there. They all know they're getting in. What's the big deal?
Again, we have a show to do here, guys. For all these people that are coming in this chat and saying, "Oh, you guys you never talk about any," because we're doing a show here. Like we're trying to talk about stuff that matters. We're not going to just sit here. We're not talking about 80 different college hoops games. Okay, we're trying to fill time. Right, Donnie? Is that what we're doing here? We're filling time.
This is what's fun. The argument is the fun part about it. That's why people watch the shows, because me and Big Man go head to head with each other and get angry at each other, and we feel passionate. Is that being fake? Was that argument fake right there between me and you? Was that a fake argument? Did we go, Jeff? We got to talk about Billis and Walton so we can get into an argument. No, it comes up with the show.
Yeah, I'm giving real opinion. We're all giving real opinions here. It's these fucking dopes that come in here. Oh, Big Man's such a baby. All he does is whine. Yeah, you fucking watch me every day. Beat it. Don't fucking watch me then. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm so sick of some of these. Big Man doesn't get his way. He's going to whine. We're having a goddamn conversation, a debate here, you dope. I know how to. That's why you're watching me and I don't watch you, cuz. That's why. Donnie and I are having a spirited debate, aren't we? That's what we're doing here. It's opinions. So you want me to get on here and agree with everything he says. How entertaining is that? We don't talk about these shows. We just come on and do them. That's why we're doing these shows. Because we know what we're doing. That's why. I mean, that's
why it's a morning show. You have other shows all day that are just going to go, ready? 601, 602, Princeton and Duke, 29.5. I like Duke in the side. 603, 604, Appalachian State, getting to 10. What do you think about that game? I like that game as well. Let's take that. That's not what the show is. That's why it's a morning show. There's no point to go over the entire. We have millions of shows. You have NBA shows on this channel. Yes.
Now again, Donnie, we've been doing this show for like over a year. And I always have people commenting and complaining, yet not one has taken my offer up on debating me. Any of you can come on. Donnie, I'm sure you would be the mediator. And
I can't.
Anybody, if you want to come on and debate, all you got to do is contact me. Yet none of you do. All of you just sit there, hide behind a computer and say stuff to me. Come on and debate. How about I give you a fucking slap and then I debate you? How about we do that? You want to come on? Come on.
Play for Mad Boone, Jeff. Can you play for Crazy Mad Spalding Boontz? How about that?
We can do whatever you want. Let's go to we just talked about the Boca Bowl. Why'd you talk what the hell is Cheribundi anyway? What is that?
Yeah, you know what? I was going to ask you that because one of my favorite times on this show that we've ever had is you were giving me the bowls the other day, but telling me the actual state
I don't give a fuck about sponsors. I don't get paid by them. I don't get paid.
That's why I gave you the Cheribundi. Like I wanted to give you the official sponsor of the bowl. Jeff, what bowl do we have with that? The New Mexico Bowl. Who's the sponsor?
Donnie.
Good people of Mexico. I'm like,
okay, Donnie, go ahead.
And then you tried to slip the next one by me in New Orleans. You tried to slip the New Orleans Bowl by me and tell me it was sponsored by the good people of New Orleans. And I had to check on it.
I'm not giving free ads. Okay, I'm not. If Cheribundi, which I'll say their name one more time.
What is it? Hold on, let me.
It's a drink. It's a juice drink. It's like a cherry drink.
How they have money to like? I've never heard of it. So why are they sponsoring a bowl game? And I still don't know what it is.
I guess they have enough money to.
You get it at like
I don't
Wawa
know.
or 7-Eleven. Don't get this. Cheribundi. Oh my goodness. Real.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what Cheribundi is. I know now because I looked it up.
Art cherry juice drink? Nah, I'm out. I'm out on that, Jeff.
Yeah, it looks okay.
How much you have to pay for that? Can't be that much, right? Hey, you guys want to sponsor Cheribundi?
Maybe we should sponsor the RSOC Bowl.
Exactly. The Sportsbook review. Now that gambling is going legal, why doesn't SBR invest in a bowl game? And you could put it in Costa Rica, right? Am I right? Look at us. We can get this going.
Cheribundi.
We'll fly down, Jeff, me and you,
Cheribundi.
call the game. We'll call the game.
Great comment here from Justin Coleman, Donnie. Keep making videos for us, fatty. We say you just do. Dance, big man, dance. Do Shaq's like he's doing a solid for everyone. I mean, that comment, first of all, is that English? Second of all, again, another just sycophant of mine that just watches everything that I do. Thank you, Justin. We love you. Thank you for watching this show. It just continues to add to our yeah. It's all about the numbers, Donnie. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, can you say like the big man on campus? We are live from the Grand Casino in Escazú.
At the Tico Bowl.
You can set up like the football field at the Tico Bowl. I'll be your commentator. I could be the color guy for the game. Oh my, it would be huge, man. Huge.
We have like little Hawaiian shirts on. Yeah.
Yes.
Man. Cheribundi sounds like an STD. That's a good point, actually.
I thought it was like a cherry pie. Right. Cherry pie, you know, but come on.
Yeah. Bookie sponsor sports books. That's a good bookie sponsor soccer teams. That's true. Exactly. Why can't SBR get on board? That's a good point.
You could pull it off in Escazú, man. You can have it maybe maybe there's a stadium in San Jose we can use, something like that. It's got to be something around San Jose and Escazú
Azteca Stadium. There's got to be like an Azteca Stadium in Costa Rica. So that where the Costa Rican team play. What do we have in UAB Northern Illinois? We already talked about that. I think we both
taking the points. I'm taking the points. I think they'll be fired up for this football game. I think they have enough on defense, NIU, to stop the running game. Because have you ever watched UAB play, Jeff? I know you have. It's let's run the big boy up the middle. I have a quarterback wildly inaccurate, and then let's run the big boy up the middle again. So it's pretty standard.
Let's go to college hoops before people have coronaries.
Buffalo Cuse, Jeff. How about the battle? Is this going to decide supreme leadership, Jeff, of the state of New York with Buffalo and Syracuse in this game? And did Syracuse take a loss that they shouldn't have taken the other night, did I see?
It's a big game. I mean, Syracuse off a bad loss to Old Dominion. They didn't play well in the game. Gave up 69 points, I want to say. Syracuse has to get going here. Okay, this is a team that, this is what they do in the regular season. They'll win a game in the ACC, or maybe even, in a few days where they'll find a way and they'll get a job. Like tonight, this is a game where I think a lot of people will pick against Syracuse, but not so fast. I'm not going to. They're at home here. They thrive off turning the ball over. I don't know if we'll see a ton of turnovers this game. One thing I do know is I think this is a good matchup for Syracuse. Syracuse's goal, Donnie, get to the free throw line. I think they're top 15 in getting to the free throw line in the country. Taz Battle, that's one of his games, really. He's an aggressive guy, gets to the line. This Buffalo team has had issues putting teams on a line. That's one of their big problems. I think, obviously, as per usual, Syracuse will bother Buffalo. They're going to have to make a lot of outside shots. I think a lot of people will jump towards Buffalo, a lot of recency bias on, Syracuse, maybe they're not very good. This is one of those games where it's a low-scoring game. Syracuse dirties and muddies up the waters, gets to the line a good amount of time, and they win this game going away with free throws, by 6 late. I think this is a point where they could turn it on against a good basketball team. They're a good matchup here. I kind of like Syracuse myself here.
Yeah, it should be an interesting one. The one thing you always want to look at, Jeff, because when you're taking a look at Syracuse, they have the matchup zone, as we all know. It's kind of boring to watch, but they do give up a lot of threes, but contested threes, because most people don't want to break in today's college game, as you see, Jeff. We want to get to the basket. We want to hit wide open jumpers. Passing into the lane, your big man taking the 12-foot jumper, that's like a lost art, which is what Syracuse tries to force you to do. Buffalo 33% from three-point range, Jeff.
Yeah, not good.
31% Syracuse gives up on the defensive end. So, I mean, that's
Yeah,
going to be
that's
a big
not
thing
good
here.
enough. Right, not good enough for Buffalo. You got to be better than that to beat Syracuse. And again, I don't know that this is a great matchup. And yeah, you look at Buffalo. So Donnie, you beat West Virginia.
Mhm.
I'm not a big fan of the Mountaineers, and you can beat them any night because of the press. If you can break the press, anybody can beat West Virginia. I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, and you go up and down that schedule. I mean, I guess San Francisco at this point, that's a good win. You beat them by 4 on a neutral court. But other than that, I mean,
And
this is a
also,
big
Jeff,
time
talk
opponent.
to the people about this as well. Like we, and we'll go back to even like the Temple days with John Chaney. The one team that teams don't want to see on the set. Let's just say we go to the tournament,
No,
Jeff. Field of 64.
yeah,
You play on a Thursday, right? And you play, let's just say, you're Buffalo and you play Indiana and you beat them. You have one day to get ready for that matchup zone. It's the same thing in
yeah.
this one because if I'm looking at this, they just played Saturday. Now they're going to play Tuesday. They had 2 days to get ready for the matchup zone, which you've never seen before. And let's also not forget, Jeff, where's this game at tonight?
It's at Creighton.
Exactly. You want to talk about a big backdrop for shooting threes and shooting jumpers? If you're not used to it, this is another spot. So you get a lot of interesting dynamics that enter in this game for Buffalo. I like Buffalo. I think we both agree, Jeff. Buffalo's a pretty good basketball team. But when you don't have that much time to prepare for this zone and you're playing in the Carrier Dome, which you have different shooting optics, maybe it takes a toll on them.
Yeah, and look, Buffalo wants to get in transition, and that's why a team like West Virginia, they almost want to play in that transition as well. They want to make shots and then press and then get out and move. But yeah, I don't like this matchup for Buffalo. To me, at 3.5, public's going to come in on Buffalo. I mean, this might go down to 3 or maybe even lower. I'll take my shots with Syracuse. I mean, you look at the numbers, Donnie, on this game already. Over 1,000 tickets. I mean, Syracuse looks to be a sharp side here so far. So we'll see. What else do we have?
Yeah, 623, 624, 9 o'clock tonight, Jeff. Creighton going to travel to play Oklahoma. Not that many tickets weighed in on this game yet, but there is a decisive advantage over 60% of those early wagers, Jeff, coming in on Oklahoma. But how about this? Line opens up at 6. Pinnacle now showing a 7.5. 7's primarily across the board. So you're getting that public support in Oklahoma and the line moving in your right direction.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Donnie, I really like the Sooners in this game. I think, and I'll make this comment as well for anyone who's curious. I think Oklahoma is a really interesting team. I think they're a team that down the road, no one's going to talk much about this group. They're for real. They're really good. Christian James is terrific. Brady Manick's been very good. Aaron Calixte, they brought him over from Maine. He's done a nice job. They just got Jamori McNeese back. They're one of the best rebounding teams in the country, Donnie. And what was their big problem last year, Donnie, with Trae Young? They could score, but what was their big issue?
I guess defending.
Couldn't defend.
Yeah.
It's a totally different basketball team this year. They are really good on defense. They're much improved. Lon Kruger's done a great job. They're going to get tested in this game. Creighton is #1 in the country in effective field goal percentage. The problem with Creighton is, though, you look at Oklahoma. I mean, from 2-point percentage, Oklahoma line just 38% shooting. That is really good. They have really improved on that side of the basketball. You also look at the fact that Oklahoma is at home here. They're getting a team in who, look, to be honest with you, Creighton is not a good defensive team. They never are. The way they play just doesn't constitute being a good defensive team. They don't make foul shots. I think Creighton, again, a lot of public bettors will grab Creighton. I think 6-7 points. Creighton could score. And, most people don't remember, Oklahoma, they don't play. This is going to be one of those 84-82 kind of games. Maybe, but Oklahoma's improved significantly on the defensive end. I think that's going to be their big calling card in this game. And look, you look at Oklahoma, they've beaten up everybody they played. I mean, with the exception of maybe Notre Dame, they've won every game by pretty much double digits. They've been impressive this year. I like the fact that they've been able to really get after on the defensive end. You ask yourself, is 7 though a bit high? I don't know. I'll see where this number goes.
Looking at foul shooting, yeah. You're basically looking at foul. So what are you trying to bank on at the end of the game that you're up, 4 points with 2 minutes to go and can shoot some free throws and close that game out? Is basically what you're looking at.
You're hoping this game with 2 minutes to go is 74-64 or something, where it's like a 10-point lead. You don't have to worry a ton. You don't. I'll tell you this, Donnie. I wouldn't want this game, like what you just said. I wouldn't want that. Like, because Creighton's going to be one of those teams where they don't really ever go away. You got to hope this game is just kind of a wall-to-wall victory. You got to hope this game is like, the USC game where you're up 10, you're kind of cruising. You don't want to be up 4 with 2 minutes to go in this game, because I get the feeling Creighton would hang around in that game. You want this game to be 10-12 the entire way. Maybe they push it up to 15 or 16 at one point. Clearly, that's what you're going to want this game, because Creighton's never had a game with the way they can shoot. But you're right, free throw shooting is going to be big, and the one knock on Creighton, to add to a few, is they only shoot 63% from the line. That's 318th in the country. Not good.
627, 628, Texas-Arlington and Gonzaga, Jeff. Looks like a nice big number here. Look, people like to bet Gonzaga as a public favorite. 73% of the early tickets coming in on Gonzaga, Jeff. Opened up at 27, now sitting at 28 primarily across the board for the Zags. Get-right game is what it appears to be for them tonight.
Yeah, it really does. That's a great point by you. I mean, you look at, Donnie, the schedule that Gonzaga's basically dealt with. I mean, where do you start? I mean, you've had just tight game after tough game, really since back to the Maui games. You had the one game against North Dakota State that was a 42-point win, but then you get Creighton, then you get Washington, then you lose 2 to Tennessee and Carolina. Now people are going to say to ourselves, do I want to lay 27 with Gonzaga? But they're back home, Donnie. They've had a day or two off, and they're getting an Arlington team that's probably the worst team that they've played. I mean, seriously, Texas-Arlington's bad. I mean, they can't score. They're not really good defensively. This should be exactly like you said, Donnie, a get-right game. A 95-60 type of game, something like that. Gonzaga,
it's interesting, Jeff. Look at UTA's defense, three-point shooting defense, 26% they're holding teams down to. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think, though, we have to maybe – and this is kind of a good knock. You look at who they played, though. I mean, let's seriously do that. Northern Iowa's terrible on offense. UC Davis bad. Corpus Christi bad. They gave up 78 to Indiana. Arkansas, they gave up 78. Missouri, I think the Missouri game, I think a lot of people will say, oh, they only lost by 20 to Missouri. They only gave up 65. But Missouri is an interesting team, Donnie, because they're one of the slowest paced teams in the country. Gonzaga's going to score points in the game. They're going to. I don't think that Arlington could hold them down. I do think it's a good point. They only do hold the 26%, but once this game starts going and we see just how this is the best team they faced by a wide margin. And you look at all their games, they're getting beat pretty handily. It's teams taking their foot off the gas. I feel like Gonzaga kind of shows out tonight. I think they kind of look at this game as, okay, we've gotten beat up a little bit. Let's go out and just fucking pound this team. And they've been known to do that in these kind of games. So yeah, I'll lay it with the Zags.
All right, real quick off topic before we get out of here, Jeff. Tua on pace to play, returns back to practice after that high ankle sprain. And Love skipping the bowl game here, which seems to be a yearly thing now for running backs coming out of Stanford. He's going to get ready for the NFL. The one thing I want to say about Bryce Love skipping the bowl game, I never fault a running back for skipping a bowl game, because that's the one true position that you're destined to get hurt. Just get to the pros, make your money. I don't have any problem. It didn't have a problem when Christian McCaffrey did it either for them.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I don't knock kids for doing this. It's their decision.
And by the way, have we had any latest updates, Jeff, on Marquise Brown? You see, it's one of those things. We talked about this on the show last week.
I've heard.
Is nobody caring about this injury? Does it not matter?
No, I still think, Donnie, it's still early. I mean, I guess you still got a week and a half or so. I've heard them talk about it. He says that it's still an unknown. We don't know if he's going to play. Real quick, Donnie, back to quickly with your draft comments. I would here's where I think you do have a choice, though. If you're not a first round pick, why are you sitting out? Like, why is Will Greer sitting out?
Exactly.
Will Greer's not a first.
Yes, correct. You can't. I will never. It's such a good point, because what Will Greer can do against a decent football team in Syracuse? Light it up. And teams go, damn, look at this kid.
That's
or maybe
what I'm
Jeff,
saying.
maybe he's smart. Maybe he says, you know what, Jeff? It's not a Big 12 team I'm playing. Sitting this one out.
Yeah, that's possible. But
Yeah,
I think this is a great showcasing opportunity. I mean, like, let's say, Donnie, Let's say you go out and you put up, 50. You put up 465 through the air and you beat Syracuse. I mean, listen, bowl games, for what it's worth, these are bowl games that are standalone a lot of the time.
Yep. And you know what general managers like, Jeff? You know what general managers like about this? How about this if Will Grier goes, people ask me if I wanted to skip this bowl game. My boys back there, never leave them hanging. And then go out and throw for 4 bills and 5 touchdowns. You know what they'll tell you? Because that's the Baker Mayfield effect. You know what Baker Mayfield did when he probably got in the room at Cleveland? You need me. And you know it. And walked out. You know, like, where's that swag? Come on, Will.
And I was kind of disappointed to see this because I'll be real with you, Donnie. I think Will Grier has some really good attributes at the next level.
Yes,
I think he could be a really good player.
He's a gunslinger.
But these are not good decisions. And then you have, like, you read some of the local papers. Like, I'm reading this article out of the Gazette in Charleston, West Virginia. Will Grier made the best decision for himself. No, he didn't. Cut it out, dude. He made a bad decision, actually. He could go and show out. Like, Yadni Cuse is sitting as well as left tackle, which Yadni Cuse is a first-round pick. So I don't have a problem with that. Plus, he did get injured.
And the same thing, Jeff, like, what are we talking about here, like, injury-wise also? If Will Grier is going to be a second-round pick, the schools can pay an insurance policy for you to play in this football game. So if West Virginia goes, you know what? We'll lay $50,000 out for you, Will Grier. If your arm falls off during the game, you'll get like $10 million tax-free to live your life. What am I missing here? I don't get it. You have lost insurance on this. This is why they put it in the NCAA. If you are going to be the top overall pick, your school can lay out $100,000, $200,000 for you to guarantee you like $50 million with the Lloyds of London policy. Isn't this what we did it for? Or maybe you're just scared. Again, maybe, hey, look, Big 12, not a Big 12 defense. I might throw for 100 yards against Syracuse, and I'll plummet. So I'm just going to leave it on a high note.
He's literally top 45 probably in the draft. So, like, if you put in a good performance, I feel like it goes a little bit of a way. It doesn't hurt you. To me, it does. He's not going to get shut down here. The Sporting News, Donnie, has Grier going 6th overall, which is moronic, but I don't.
They're all. Quarterbacks always get overhyped, but let's just how about Kyler Murray for Oklahoma? What happens if Kyler Murray throws for 500 yards on Alabama? Your draft stock can change with a great game against a decent opponent in a heartbeat. Why would you not take advantage? What's next, Will Grier? You're not going to go to the Senior Bowl? You don't want anybody to see you work out? What's next?
Yeah, I don't get it either. Weird.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the way we'll end up on the show today, big man. We had some arguments. Cool. We had some football. We talked Cheribundi. We talked who covers more topics in 1 hour, Jeff, than me and you, and argues about them? Nobody.
And gets everything done.
Yes.
And we did everything. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Drew from SBR Forum says this is the show of the year.
I don't know. I'm sure we had some better fights over the years.
Well, here's what I will say. There are some changes coming, so stay tuned.
Yep, big man will be leaving these networks. So good luck to you.
Yeah, partly. Yeah. So, guys, again, this I'm not kidding either. This isn't like a joke. There's changes coming up, so we're not the only people, to not see those. But Donnie, Christmas is coming. Let me ask you before we go.
Yeah.
What's on your Christmas list this year?
Nothing. Like I haven't had anything on because I can buy whatever I want for myself. So you sort of lose that after a while. I'm paying a lot of money for the wife's presents, and every day I'm being asked for my PayPal account information from my wife to order innocuous things online for my kids. So I can't imagine what's under the tree this year. Just ridiculousness. But that's on my Christmas agenda.
Well, that's actually a good answer. That's what I think any man would say. I don't really know what I want. I just am here to provide, I guess. Good. Thanks, Jansen. Appreciate that. Yeah, we try to have fun with it. We try to, have something bright and cheery in the morning. That's the thing, Donnie. It's a morning show. It's a variety show.
You're supposed to be angry when you're. Yeah, exactly. You roll out of bed. Sometimes you get angry. That's it. You should have seen my face today if they punched in that touchdown for New Orleans last night. Then we would have had a really good show today.
Yeah. Donnie looks like a cool dad. He is. I've seen him in action. He loves his daughter. His daughter loves. Yeah. I remember that day when I picked you up, Donnie. She didn't want you to leave.
Very upset. Nope. Very upset. Thought I would never come back from Vegas. Thought I'd just move out there.
Jamal Taylor just continues to hit me where it hurts, Donnie. I don't think I'm going to be back for a show tomorrow just because of his comments are really really bothering me today, Donnie.
Jenny
The
Craig's
guy that
still in
thinks
business? Do they still sell?
yeah.
Jenny
I
Craig's
I
still
actually
good?
would prefer Weight Watchers personally, but
Jeff, he really
listen,
should have hit.
Donnie.
He really should have hit you up
Yeah.
though and said, "You know what, Jeff? You should go to the Jenny Craig Pavilion out in San Diego State."
Yeah, that would have really bothered me. It was San Diego, Donnie, not State.
San Diego.
San
Okay,
Diego. Now, Jamal, listen. Why don't you show us your girl and I'll show you mine and we can compare? How about that? So feel free. I'll wait for your DM. But like normal, none of you will respond. Donnie, that's it. It's time to ride off into the Tuesday sunset.
'cause we got
We'll be back
19 more shows to go. Yes. we do.
Yes. You have a show today at 4, right? 5 or what
Yep.
time
Show
is it?
today. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I'm on all day, baby. I'm here all day.
Yeah. Busy day for you. We'll see you all at 3 o'clock. We'll take some calls. By the way, there's a form for all of you. Call in. Let's chat. We'd love to hear from you. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow here on the right side of campus. Bye-bye. Oh, see you, Big Joe. Take it easy, buddy.